for Flamborough-Glanbrook.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Splitting my time with my colleague, neighbour and friend from Haldeman, the Honourable Member for Haldeman-Norfolk. It's an incredible honour to rise today to deliver my first speech in this House. And I'd like to congratulate all members on their successful election. I look forward to working together collaboratively in this Parliament to make the lives of all Canadians more affordable, more prosperous, and more free. Before I begin, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to give a sincere thank you to all those who helped get me to where I am today. I'd like to thank the people of Flamborough-Glanbrook for placing their trust in me and bestowing on me the privilege and duty to be their voice. It is an honor that I will never forget. And there are many people that I have to thank, and of course, it's impossible to name them all in a short period of time. First and foremost, I would like to thank my amazing wife, Tracy, and she is here in the gallery with us today. Her unwavering love and support has meant so much to me for so many years. I am nothing without her. And I would also like to thank everybody who played the largest or smallest role in my campaign. Your hard work, dedication, and belief in me, without that, I wouldn't be here today. I would also like to recognize my predecessor, David Sweet, for his 15 years of service in this House and to our communities. And I'm grateful for his friendship of 18 years, and I wish him and Elmwood all the best on their new adventures in New Brunswick. Mr. Speaker, each and every member of this House has a unique path that brought them here today. As a Canadian of Dutch heritage, mine begins with my grandparents. It's from them, my parents, and the adversities that they had to overcome that I draw inspiration and purpose. You see, my omas and opas chose Canada to build a better life for their children and grandchildren. They lived through wartime Holland and the brutal hunger winter of 1944 and 1945, when the Dutch were almost starved to death. In fact, my opa Muse played a role in the Dutch resistance, and in his quiet way, did what he could to fight against the atrocities being inflicted on Holland by Nazi Germany. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm mindful of them today as I wear this lapel pin in honor of the liberation of Holland by Canadian troops. The Kingdom of the Netherlands produced this pin in 2020 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the liberation. It is an artful combination of the torch of freedom and the dove of peace. And I think those are lessons we can draw from and learn here today. Like so many from every corner of the world, throughout the history of our nation, they came to Canada because it was the land of opportunity and hope. And I am ever so grateful that Canada welcomed them with open arms. It is this Canada, the beacon of opportunity, freedom, democracy, and hope, that is the greatest country on earth, and we should never be ashamed to say so. Mr. Speaker, my own story begins in a small hamlet near Hamilton, Ontario called Copetown. It's where I grew up, where I went to school, where I attended church, where I worked my first student job, and it's made me who I am today. Years ago, the local Lions Club dubbed Copetown the hub of the universe. And while I think this slogan was first conceived in jest, it's fitting in many ways, because it's the kind of place where you can dream big. And while I had no idea my journey would take me here, I'm proud to represent Copetown in Parliament today and bring with me its values of hard work, honesty, respect, and helping thy neighbor. Mr. Speaker, that's why I'm here, because a middle-class kid from Copetown can be here. My brothers and I were fortunate to have that middle-class upbringing. My mom was a nurse, my dad a bricklayer, and together they had a small farm with chickens and hogs and some beef cattle. It was an idyllic setting and a great place for kids to grow up. But like all parents, they had to make sacrifices from time to time to ensure their kids could get all they needed. And sometimes those choices were tough, but we always got by. And I worry today that that middle-class dream that opportunity is slipping away because of the direction of this government. And that's why I'm here to help change it. Mr. Speaker, Tracy and I don't live far from Copetown today. We're truly blessed to live in some of the most beautiful countryside of God's creation. Flamborough-Glanbrook is surrounded by the Niagara Escarpment, the northern reaches of the Carolinian forests, and Coote's Paradise, all designated a World Biosphere Reserve. Mr. Speaker, I've also had the privilege to live and work in Alberta and Quebec. What an amazing country, driving the Icefields Parkway through the majesty of the Rocky Mountains, the breathtaking hike to the top of Cap Trinité in the Saguenay, and the breathtaking view at the top, and whale watching in Tadoussac. It's spectacular. All of these experiences beat in my heart. Canadians are amazing people. They're kind, generous, they have integrity, and they work hard, and it's why people come to and are drawn to Canada like my Oma and Opas after war-torn Europe. In a country as divided as we are today, I choose to stand for hope. I choose to seek the things that unite us and not divide us. I choose to bring people together and build up Canada, because the division in this country hurts my soul. Mr. Speaker, that's why I'm disappointed in this government's throne speech. In the interest of time, let me focus on three things that impact the people of Flamborough-Glanbrook very personally and very directly. The cost of living crisis, the lack of a comprehensive plan for the recovery, and ensuring all Canadians have access to reliable internet. Mr. Speaker, because of the cost of living crisis, I worry greatly that the middle-class life in Canada is increasingly unattainable. 60% of Canadians are worried about paying for their groceries. The past week alone, we saw the highest gas prices ever in Hamilton and the GTA. Seniors in my riding living on a fixed income are squeezed and they're worried. And so, Mr. Speaker, that's why my colleagues and I were so disappointed to hear the word inflation mentioned just once in this government's throne speech. And what's more, housing prices are out of reach for an entire generation of Canadians. For the first time in history, young people today do not believe that their lives will be better than their parents in Canada. And this is sad to me. And where's the plan for the recovery? Helping small business get back on their feet, fixing disrupted supply chains, driving innovation. Mr. Speaker, this recovery includes rural Canadians and the need for them to have access to reliable internet. Because if the pandemic has taught us anything, it is that access to reliable high-speed internet is no longer a privilege for some, but a necessity for all. And unfortunately, this is an issue for many people in the rural parts of my riding and across Canada, and they know it too well. Mr. Speaker, our words and actions in this House matter. They matter to the families struggling to put food on their table. They matter to the farmer that gets up before the crack of dawn to ensure that food gets to market. Canada is a country made up of wonderful people from every walk of life, race, religion, creed, and sexual orientation. It's that tremendous strength that makes me hopeful for the future of this country, despite the encumbrances we currently face. Yes, there are many issues facing Canada, and I only talked about a few today. Canadians want hope. Canadians want light. Canadians want to be heard. So let's listen to them. We can disagree, yet still respect each other's point of view. Let us put more emphasis on what unites us than what divides us. Let us build Canada to the land of hope and opportunity once again. We are Canadians. This is a fight worth fighting. Merci beaucoup.